So in the last lecture we have discussed that there are few materials whose conductivity may vary. If its conductivity is very high, we call them good conductors. If their conductivity is less, we call them insulators. And if their conductivity at the room temperature is in between to the conductivity of the conductors and insulators, we call them semiconductors. We have seen few examples over here. Then we have seen that how conductivity is related with the resistivity and the resistance. Also we have discussed the example of positive temperature coefficient and negative temperature coefficient of resistance and conductance in the case of the semiconductors. Then we have discussed the structure of an atom, where we have seen that a structure of an atom is nothing but a center nucleus in which electrons revolve. The number of the electrons vary as per the element you are going to discuss. As I have discussed here aluminium, which is having the atomic number of 13, so I said there will be definitely 13 protons and 13 electrons in it. I have also discussed the scenario of the valence electron. It is nothing but the number of the electrons in the outermost shell. And I have also discussed about a few properties of the group's elements. Now I have also discussed this exception of hydrogen, which is not having any neutron inside the nucleus or at the center. Then we have discussed that why these electrons always try to complete the octet, because they want to be inert. So there is always a tendency of an atom to share the electrons or to get the electrons equal to 8 in the valence shell. So we also discussed this ionization energy, which is nothing but the minimum energy required to extract the electron from the outermost shell. And I told you, as we are going to increase the number of the electrons to be extracted from an atom, the ionization energy increases. And that's why it is very difficult in the elements like silicon, where the valency is 4, or the number of electrons in the valence shell is 4. It is not easy for us to extract all these 4 electrons. So these types of elements prefer the sharing one to complete the octet. Then I have discussed the electron energies. And the electron energies, I said that every atom consists of electrons in some particular levels only. I have discussed here the case of the silicon, and I said there will be 3 levels, because 3 ranges was earlier mentioned, as I have told you that its atomic number is 14, so it will be 2, 8 and 4. So these are the 3 levels on which the electrons will lie. So in the innermost one I have denoted it with the n equal to 1, middle one was n equal to 2 and n equal to 3. So this is the defined level of this electron in these shells for the silicon. Similarly, I said that these are the permissible energy levels which are for a particular atom. When I am going to have more when I am going to have more atoms, then definitely I will get more number of energies related to that particular atom. As in a molecule or as in an element, we have thousands of atoms, so it is not easy. Just a minute. So it is not easy for every atom to have the same energy shells for the electrons, because they are always attracted, or you can say repelled, by the different forces, or they all have the different environment. So definitely there will be slight changes in the n equal to 1 levels of each and every atom present in that element. Similarly for n equal to 2 and for n equal to 3. So it means when I am going to discuss a single atom, this will be my representation, where n equal to 1, n equal to 2 and n equal to 3 is defined by the particular level. But when I am going to discuss more number of atoms, then definitely I can't say there will be some single energy level. There may be more than one energy level. So that's why I have denoted here a band of energies. And as I am moving to the upward side, or from E1 to E3, my energy is increasing. So I have also explained this concept, that why it was increasing, because it is already visible to you that this electron is quite far in comparison to these 2 electrons. So definitely the force between this silicon atom or the nucleus and this electron is less, or you can say that this electron is having the higher energy. So it means this electron is only requiring the minimum energy, or the ionization energy, to be removed from this shell. And we have also seen that this electron is having the energy in the form of potential energy and the kinetic energy, where potential energy, I told you, is directly proportional to m into d, right? So this d is nothing but the distance between this nucleus and the electron, and also half mv square, which is the velocity of this electron to move around this nucleus. So as we are moving inside or going into the towards the nucleus, we will see these electrons is having closer to the nucleus. So that's why this potential energy will decrease because of the decrease in the d value over here. And we will see that now they have the lesser energy. It means more energy to be provided to them to take away from the forces of this nucleus. So this is what I have discussed in the last class. Also I told you about these bands. So now instead of denoting these three bands, which are all the bands of the electrons where electrons are available, I also added one more band which is higher to this last field band, that is the fourth band, and which I call as the conduction band. I have assumed this band as the energy, or this band is containing the energies where my electron will be free. It means now my electron is not bounded by this nucleus present inside the silicon atom. So I have told you about this concept of valence band and the conduction band. I said that the last filled band will be now called as the valence band. It is not feasible for me to take the electrons from the first and the second band because the energy requirement is very high. So I will say that I will neglect these electrons or these bands. I will only consider this third band in the case of silicon, which will be called as the valence band, and the band above to it will be called as the conduction band. So on the basis of this, I have defined here three types of materials. One is the metal, insulator, and the semiconductors. In the metals, I said there will be an overlapping between the valence and the conduction band. It means it doesn't matter. Right now we are at the room temperature or 0 Kelvin or at a very high temperature. There will be always an overlapping. It means the electrons from this valence band, from here, they may move to the conduction band at any time. So it means they will always have their conductivity very high, or they will always conduct the flow of electrons. Second is the case of an insulator. I said this valence band and conduction band are there, but there will be some energy gap between them. It means as I am having electrons in the valence band, so to make my electrons reach to the conduction band, I need to provide some energy to them, and that energy must be equal to the Eg, that is the gap energy. And I told you that this energy is almost equal to 5 electron volt or more also. This energy is called as the forbidden energy gap. Just a minute. Now you have taken here an example of sodium where it is having the valence electron 1. It means the shell in which it is having, so I guess it is 2, 8, 1. This is the configuration of sodium.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in this case you can find here only as I'm again going to have the three levels, and outermost level is having the electron only 1. It means this energy level will be there in single atom, this energy level will be there in a single atom, and this will be the third energy level in a single atom. So again I will get here 3 energy levels. But when I will talk about more number of atoms, as in the case of the materials I am having many electrons, so definitely all these levels will be again denoted by the bands. And I have explained you earlier that why I call them bands, क्योंकि हर एक एटम की इलेक्ट्रॉन की एनर्जी थोड़ी सी डिफरेंट होगी दूसरे से बिकॉज ऑफ द एनवायरमेंट दे आर फेसिंग. नाउ एज आई सेड इन द अबव डायग्राम, these three bands are not required to be denoted when I am discussing the band theory. I need only two bands. One is the conduction band and second is the valence band. So over here I will not discuss these two bands. I will call this last filled energy band as the valence band, and above to that I will call as the conduction band, because above to this will not be, you can say, will be not be bounded by this nucleus in the center over here. यहाँ पे जो न्यूक्लियस है, इट इज़ नॉट गोइंग टू बाउंड दिस इलेक्ट्रॉन. वंस आई विल प्रोवाइड इट एनर्जी मोर देन दिस लेवल, ये ऊपर चले जाएगा, और ऊपर मीन्स ये फ्री हो जाएगा. सो यू सेड दैट व्हाट अबाउट, as the question is, conduction band can have partially filled electrons. So no, the answer is no over here. The reason is because as per our theory, the conduction band is that band where no electrons exist in the normal conditions. नॉर्मल कंडीशन का मतलब हुआ जब आपने कोई भी एक्साइटेशन प्रोवाइड नहीं की, तब आपके पास यहाँ पर कोई भी इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है वो कंडक्शन बैंड में प्रेजेंट नहीं होगा, सिर्फ और सिर्फ कहाँ तक होंगे प्रेजेंट, थर्ड बैंड में। व्हेन यू विल प्रोवाइड सम एनर्जी, और इसको मैं ले लेता हूँ केस 0 केल्विन का, राइट, इट विल बी इजी फॉर यू to understand it then. In the case of 0 Kelvin, when no energy is provided to any atom, no electron will be excited from the last field shell और last field band. Shell और band अब एक ही चीज में डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ, although shell is a state whereas band is an energy, so there will be no electron in the conduction band, so there will be no conduction. But when you will increase the temperature, for example, if you later we will see that when I will increase it to the room temperature, what is room temperature, it is around 23 degrees centigrade, right, or equal to 300 Kelvin. So when I will reach up to 300 Kelvin, so this 300 Kelvin will provide energy to this last filled band or the shell, and then I can say the electrons will be jumped to the conduction band, then only conduction will help. कंडक्शन तभी होगी जब हमारे पास कंडक्शन बैंड में इलेक्ट्रॉन होंगे। लेकिन जो आपका क्वेश्चन है इसमें वी हैव टू स्टेट दैट एट व्हाट पॉइंट यू आर टॉकिंग हियर। कंडक्शन बैंड में डेफिनेटली इलेक्ट्रॉन्स हो सकते हैं, लेकिन अगर उसको एनर्जी मिली है तो। अगर हम 0 केल्विन या नो एनर्जी की बात करें तो वो एम्प्टी है। इज इट राइट नाउ आयुष?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So last one was, then we have discussed about this semiconductors. In the semiconductors, I said the band energy is there, band gap energy is there, although already called as forbidden energy gap. But the difference is this energy is in around 1 electron volt, or it is very less. So it means if we provide this energy, the valence band electrons will jump to the conduction band easily, and it will start conducting. And once a material starts conducting, we can see here in the earlier examples also that conductivity will increase of that material. So this is our major concern now, this semiconductor. In the last class I have asked a question that what about this 5 electron volt? If I provide 5 electron volt energy to an insulator, what will happen? Will it start conducting or not? So any answer from your side? Is anybody wants to try it? यस अमन, यस नो इश्यूज। आप बार बार मैसेज पे मत टाइप करें, आप सिंपली जो है माइक ऑन करें और आंसर कर सकते हैं। यस अमन, प्लीज आंसर इट।
सर ये अगर 5 इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट इसको देंगे तो मतलब ये कंडक्शन बैंड में अगर जा सकता है तो सर ये थोड़ी बहुत कंडक्टिविटी शो करेगा।
थोड़ी बहुत कंडक्टिविटी, लेकिन हम जैसे वुड की बात करें, प्लास्टिक की बात करें, वो तो कभी भी कंडक्टिविटी शो नहीं करते हैं। even if we apply the energy equal to their band gap energy, then what is the reason behind that? Very right, your answer is right. Anyone else wants to throw some more light on it? Yes, so let me,
Sir,
yes, yes
sir,
Ayush.
insulator, sir, in insulator, there is a band gap energy is very large. So due to this, only few of the electron jump from valence band to conduction band, and they can conduct electricity in a very small extent.
Very right. As you said, they will conduct electricity or they will help in the conduction, but in the small amount. What about plastic or glass? Have you ever seen them to conduct electricity or conduct have their conductivity high? प्लास्टिक तो कभी भी नहीं कर पाता, लेकिन अगर आप प्लास्टिक को एनर्जी ज़्यादा दें देन व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन? एनीवन? वो मेल्ट कर जाता है, ऐसा होता है।
Electrons do not stay in the conduction band.
इलेक्ट्रॉन्स डू नॉट, देखिए इलेक्ट्रॉन्स के पास दो ही ऑप्शंस है बेटा, आइदर दे विल बी बाउंडेड बाय द न्यूक्लियस और वी कॉल देम दे आर इन द वैलेंस बैंड, और दे विल बी फ्री और वी कॉल देम इन द कंडक्शन बैंड, राइट। दिस इज व्हाट आर बैंड थ्योरी इज, यही कहती है कि हम दो ही जगहों पे इनको डिनोट कर सकते हैं। अब चलिए मैं इसको आंसर करता हूँ, यू कैन फाइंड इट लेटर ऑल्सो।
I think,
यस यस प्लीज कंटिन्यू।
sir, I think electrons will refuse to take the energy because at a small distance they do not find any empty state, and the empty state is very at very large distance.
Yes, definitely, you are very right, beta. as per our concept that an electron will only accept an energy if that energy will lead them to a definite level. You are right, but over here I am saying that one definite level is this conduction band and second definite level is my valence, one is valence band and second is the conduction band. If I provide them energy equal to this um, forbidden energy gap or equivalent to jump into a definite band in the conduction band, then what will happen? Now when I say definite energy दूंगा तो it means definitely this electron has to accept that. इलेक्ट्रॉन जो है वो जंप कर जाएगा टू द कंडक्शन बैंड, बट हमने जो एक्चुअल में प्रैक्टिकल्स देखे हैं उसमें तो कभी कंडक्ट करता ही नहीं है. तो अगर आप कभी भी किसी भी इंसुलेटर को ज़्यादा एनर्जी प्रोवाइड करते हो तो क्या होता है, वुड को आप एनर्जी प्रोवाइड करते हो तो वो उसमें आग लग जाती है, या प्लास्टिक है वो मेल्ट कर जाता है, ग्लास है वो टूट जाता है. ठीक है, हम देखते हैं कई बार कि शीशे के गिलास में हम कोई गर्म चीज़ डालते हैं तो वो एकदम से कई बार शटर कर जाता है, टूट जाता है. सो व्हाट इज़ द रीज़न बिहाइंड दैट? द रीज़न इज़, नाउ वी विल डिस्कस टुडे इट इन दिस क्लास. I will give you a brief idea what is going to happen. Every material is consisting of some atoms which are bounded by some forces, that may be ionic forces or maybe the covalent bonds, right? तो ionic और covalent bonds जो बन रहे हैं उनकी भी तो एक energy है. If you provide an energy greater than that, then that bonds will be broken down, and when जब वो bonds टूट जाएंगे, what is going to happen? All the electrons or all the valence electrons will be available in the conduction band. In simultaneously, along with that, what is going to happen? The forces in which the electrons are bounded by this nucleus, look here in this one, these here are three levels, and all these, although these electrons, the outermost electrons will be free, यहाँ पे ये free हो जाएंगे उस एनर्जी से, but साथ के साथ what is going to happen? The forces that this atom is providing to this this nucleus is providing to this electron and also to these electrons, ये भी क्या हो जाएंगे, टूट जाएंगे, और पूरा का पूरा जो क्रिस्टल स्ट्रक्चर है हमारा वही ब्रेक कर जाएगा. And whenever there will be breakage in the crystal structure, that material no longer remain in that form, और वो क्या कर जाएगा, या तो मेल्ट कर जाएगा या टूट जाएगा. So conditions like this will start happening. Even if you see that in the case of the metals also, when you provide very large energy, first they conduct, but later what is going to happen? They also got melted, because आपने उसको इतनी एनर्जी दे दी कि उसका जो इंटरनल क्रिस्टल स्ट्रक्चर था वही टूट गया. अब हम अगर अपने बैंड थ्योरी से देखें तो यहाँ पर हम इजीली देख सकते हैं that over here this energy is almost zero. We don't need to give that much high amount of energy. It means without breaking that structure, crystal structure, we can make any metal conduct in the conduction. Whereas similar is for the semiconductors, this energy is very large in comparison to the crystal structure energy. Whereas in the case of the insulators, in this one in the center one, the forbidden energy gap energy is almost equal, or you can say is sometimes higher than the crystal structure energy of this insulator. That's why we are not able to get the higher conductivity from the insulators. Am I clear to you now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now today I'm going to move on to my next lecture. So this is lecture 2. So in the today's lecture we will discuss about the semiconductors. I guess now you all know about semiconductors. What are semiconductors? As per our band theory, the semiconductors is nothing but the energy gap between the valence band and the conduction band is around 1 electron volt. It is around ET, it is around 1 electron volt. It means for my electrons from the valence band to be in the conduction band, I need to provide them energy, and that energy will be around 1 electron volt. In the case of germanium, it is equal to 0.3 electron volt. In the case of silicon, it is equal to 0.7 electron volt, right, at 300 Kelvin. Similarly, if I say This I'm sorry, this is energy. So it means if I say that if I take an example of a silicon atom, let's take a silicon atom example. This silicon atom is having the atomic number, कितना बताया था हमने कल? It is 14. It means the configuration will be 2, 8 and 4. So I will not discuss these 2, 8 now. We have already seen it. I am only concerned here about these 4 valence electron. It means when I will draw the crystal structure of this silicon atom, so I will assume here one is this one, silicon, the second is this one, third is this one, fourth is this one. So there will be 4 valence electron, they will be denoted like this. Each atom in this crystal structure will have the 4 valence electrons, because this is a pure form of the material. Pure form means there is no impurity in it, right? One will be down, and they will be all connected because they all wants to complete their octet. So they will be connected by the sharing of the electrons, or which you have studied earlier, equal to the covalent bond. So this will be my structure now. Now what is going to happen? Now if you see here that this electron is bounded by this electron, so at 0 Kelvin, this is the structure of 0 Kelvin. At 0 Kelvin you will find that all these electrons are bonded electrons. If I say here these electrons, these are all bonded, it means they are not free to go anywhere. When there will be no freedom to these electrons, definitely they cannot move into the conduction band, and there will be no electron in the conduction band, due to which its conductivity will be very less, or you can simply say it is almost equal to 0. It means at 0 Kelvin your semiconductor does not conduct, बिल्कुल भी conduct नहीं करेगा वो. It is a perfect insulator at 0 Kelvin. Right, now let's try to increase the temperature over here. So I am making changes on this only, because I cannot make this whole diagram again. So let me remove this part. Okay, I will change the color from here, and now I am drawing it with green. So for example at 300 Kelvin, what is going to happen? At 300 Kelvin means now I have reached to the room temperature. At the room temperature, what is going to happen? Definitely it will be provided some energy in the form of temperature. So what is going to happen? One electron, let this be the bonded electron, will be moved from here, and it will come in center. It is just a representation. It doesn't mean that it is coming exactly in the center. It is just a representation. And in place of that electron, whenever an electron will be removed, there will be a vacancy which is called as a hole. So this hole will be generated over here. But this electron is now free. It is not bonded by any of the silicon atom or the nucleus or the protons of these silicons in a material. It means this electron now may move to the conduction band. It means if I draw here the valence and the conduction band status, this be Eg, this is valence band, this is conduction band. So this electron which was there in the valence band, or a single electron, I am only showing here the single electron. So this valence band electron will move into the conduction band with the help of that energy, and it will be now available in the conduction band. So it means it will start conducting, right? So this is how you will see that these semiconductors are capable of conducting only at the when we provide some energy to them. But what if we don't provide an energy? They will not conduct, they will act as an insulator. So this is the simple way of representing a semiconductor. Now the point is that why we need these semiconductors. What is the need of these semiconductors? Their need is that we want to make amplifiers, we want to make diodes. These are all conducting devices. We want their conductivity to be high. We don't want any instrument or any material to be made of a semiconductor in which there is very high resistivity, or simply there will be lot of loss of energy that we are providing, or there will be lot of power consumption. So we want a material whose conductivity should be very high, but we can't use metals, क्योंकि अगर मेटल्स यूज़ करेंगे व्हाट इज़ गोइंग टू हैपन, हमने कुछ एनर्जी दी भी नहीं और फिर भी वो कंडक्ट करना स्टार्ट कर देंगे. सो वी डोंट वांट दैट. वी वांट कि जब उसको एनर्जी मिले तभी वो कंडक्ट करना स्टार्ट करे, अदरवाइज वो कंडक्ट करना स्टार्ट ना करें. सो दिस इज आवर टारगेट ओवर हियर. बट दैट कंडक्शन इज वेरी स्मॉल इन द केस ऑफ सेमीकंडक्टर्स. Already, although we have achieved one thing, that when we are providing it energy, it is conducting. When we are not providing, it is not conducting. But that energy, that conducting part is very less. So how we can improve them? So now I want to introduce here the concept of intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors. So intrinsic semiconductors, intrinsic, this is what I have explained. An intrinsic semiconductor means an intrinsic semiconductor is a semiconductor in which there is no impurity or which is in the pure form. Now if I discuss about the extrinsic semiconductor, so this extrinsic semiconductor is a semiconductor in which I am going to add some impurity. So means adding of impurities into a material or into a semiconductor, adding of impurities into a semiconductor is resulting into an extrinsic semiconductor. Now this extrinsic semiconductor impurities can be a trivalent impurity or a pentavalent impurity. So let us say adding of impurity, so it is also called as doping. Adding of impurity is also called as doping. So just remember these terms, nothing else. Now this impurity can be a trivalent, or this impurity can be pentavalent. So what is this trivalent? Trivalent impurities are those impurities in which the number of valence electrons are equal to 3, whereas pentavalent are those where the number of impurities are equal to 5. So can anyone tell me the trivalent impurities? What could be the trivalent impurities? Anyone? Trivalent or pentavalent? Yes, very right. Aluminium. Anything else?
Boron,
Boron, very good.
gallium,
Gallium, very right. And what about pentavalent?
Antimony.
Phosphorus,
Phosphorus.
arsenic,
arsenic,
right?
Bismuth.
Bismuth. चलिए, 3 are sufficient over here. So these are these 3 impurities, trivalent and the pentavalent impurities along with their examples. So let us try to add one impurity. Let us say I am going to add a pentavalent impurity. I am going to add a phosphorus. Right. So let's see what is happening when I am going to add this phosphorus in my crystal structure. So again I am drawing my crystal structure over here. This is silicon. This is silicon. Okay, I need to remove one. Let me remove this one. So in place of this, I am going to add one impurity, phosphorus. The silicon will have the 4 valence electrons, which we have studied right now. But what about this phosphorus? Phosphorus will have 5 electrons. Out of these 4 electrons will be bonded by the silicon and 1 will be left without any bonding, because इसका भी ऑक्टेट कंप्लीट हो जाएगा और फॉस्फोरस को सिर्फ 3 ही इलेक्ट्रॉन चाहिए अपने ऑक्टेट को कंप्लीट करने के लिए. सो फॉस्फोरस विल डू द शेयरिंग विद ओनली. ओके, फॉस्फोरस को 3 चाहिए लेकिन सिलिकन को 4 चाहिए थे, लेकिन इसका मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ. लेट मी एक्सप्लेन. Let me draw this, then I will explain this. Right, so let me draw this extra electron with this. Now earlier what we have studied, मैं वापस एक बार पुराने डायग्राम में जा रहा हूँ. Over here I have studied this, that this electron which was free later, but before that when it was bounded, this electron was bounded by two types of forces. One force is from the nucleus, which is consisting of the proton, that is also attracting this electron towards it. It means that is not making it free. One is that force. Second force is due to this bond formed by the other silicon atom. So two forces are acting on it. So bonded means over here two forces. One is from the proton electron force, and second is from the other silicon atom. So इन दो forces के बारे में हम यहाँ पे भी discuss करेंगे. Over here you can see that these electrons of these silicon atoms as well as of this phosphorus are also having these two forces. One is from the nucleus and second is from the silicon atom of the other silicon atom. But what about this electron? Is this electron is also bounded by the other atoms? No, the answer is no, because it is not making any bond. It is only being attracted or only being bounded by the nucleus of this phosphorus. It means we need to provide very less energy in comparison to the earlier energy to make my one electron free. Earlier, if for example, if I take here this proton electron energy is x1 and the other atom silicon atom energy is x2, then total energy required to free my electron, it was equal to x1 plus x2. But over here this energy is only equal to, total energy to free this electron is only equal to x1. So definitely x1 will be less than x1 plus x2, and we can say that now in this case when we are adding some impurity, we can easily make some electrons available at a lower energy, and along with that if we provide an energy equivalent to the other one, we will have more number of electrons. One is this electron and other is the this one electron. पिछले केस में हमारे पास एक ही इलेक्ट्रॉन रिलीज हो रहा था, विच वॉज दैट, जो कि आपका यहाँ का था, एक इलेक्ट्रॉन रिलीज हो रहा था, एक एनर्जी जो आपने पर्टिकुलर एनर्जी ली थी, दैट इज इक्वल टू x1 प्लस x2 फॉर एग्जाम्पल. बट इन दिस केस इफ आई अप्लाई हेयर x1 प्लस x2, what is going to happen? I am having this electron also available and this electron is also available. It means now I am having two electrons instead of one electron. So this is how my doping is going to help me in increasing the conductivity of the system. Also, if I look at the here the band theory, in the band theory I will say, or I will draw here one valence band, one conduction band as it is. Also this will be energy gap exactly similar to the one we have discussed in the case of intrinsic one, but the change is case of extrinsic semiconductor, but the change over here is that I will have a level called as donor level. Let me write here, I will have levels here. One is donor level and second is acceptor level. It will depend upon the type of the impurity. For example, if I am doing the pentavalent impurity, pentavalent, then I will have the donor level. Donor level will be like this. It means it will be close to the conduction band. This will be my donor level and this energy will be Eg1, where Eg1 will be very less than Eg, or in some of the books you will find it is equal to Eg1 is equal to 0.01 electron volt in the case of germanium, and it is equal to 0.05 electron volt in the case of silicon. So look here, earlier what was that energies? I told you that these energies were equal to, can you recall it? This was the energies I told you that this energies in the case of germanium and silicon is 0.3 and 0.7 electron volt, whereas with the adding of this impurity, now we are in a position to excite my electron. The electron will be now over here, this electron which is bonded by only the nucleus of this phosphorus, or the protons of this phosphorus is attracting only this electron now. So this electron is placed somewhere over here. It is just a representation. Why it is placed over here? The reason is that now this must be provided only this much amount of energy, then it will reach into the, just a minute, then it will reach into the conduction band. Also the electrons present in the valence band, I don't know, something is wrong with my tab over here. So this, the valence band is also having the electrons which is the bounded electrons of this phosphorus and of this silicon with two forces, one by their nucleus and other by the covalent bond of the material. So due to that, these electrons will also excite when I will provide them energy equal to Eg. So when I will provide energy equal to Eg, then definitely it will jump to the conduction band also. So I will have two electrons over here. I think someone is messaging. Okay, I will repeat the donor level. Just a minute, let me check my tab. Yes, I will repeat the donor level once again. Look here, what I said, a donor level. Donor level is nothing but a level created in my energy band diagram where I will say that the electron is available at this point when I will provide them energy equal to Eg1, which is very less in comparison to Eg. We have seen the cases of germanium and silicon. Eg1 is 0.01 electron volt, and when I provide this energy, then this electron will be excited to the conduction band. Now the important thing to remember here, that earlier also we had this jump from valence to the conduction band, but that jump is when it was energy equal to Eg, जब हमारे पास energy Eg के equal थी, because the reason is because we are now having here the electrons to jump, but they are bounded by two, you can say the forces, one by the proton electron force जिसके लिए एनर्जी आपको x1 थी, एंड द अदर सिलिकॉन एटम जिसके लिए एनर्जी आपकी x2 थी. सो दिस एनर्जी इज लार्ज, दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव टू प्रोवाइड मोर एनर्जी ओवर हियर. बट over here when I apply a very small amount of energy, then also these electrons are excited to the conduction band. कौन से वाले इलेक्ट्रॉन्स एक्साइट हुए? जो यहाँ पर सिंगल फोर्स के साथ बाउंडेड थे और सिंपली द फिफ्थ इलेक्ट्रॉन ऑफ माई इम्प्योरिटी वो एक्साइट हुआ. सेकेंडली जब आपने थोड़ी सी और एनर्जी प्रोवाइड की तब ये भी एक्साइट होना स्टार्ट हो गए क्योंकि इनको भी उतनी एनर्जी मिलेगी. देन दिस वैलेंस बैंड इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर आल्सो गेटिंग एक्साइटेड टू द कंडक्शन बैंड. सो इफ यू सी हियर दैट इन द अर्लियर केस और इन द केस ऑफ इंट्रिंसिक वन, व्हेन Eg इज अप्लाइड ओनली वन इलेक्ट्रॉन इज एक्साइटेड, बट इन द केस ऑफ the extrinsic semiconductor, when Eg is applied, two electrons are excited into the conduction band. So we know that conductivity increases with the number of the carriers present in the loop, or you can say that here this formula of conductivity sigma is equal to nq mu n. If I talk here in terms of electrons, then n is the number of electrons, q is the charge, and mu n is the mobility. So you can see here that mobility is fixed. You can't change the mobility of an electron. It is fixed for every material. You have to remember few values also for this. Q is the charge, that is also fixed. You all know the value of the charge. It is universal, 1.6 × 10⁻⁹ coulombs. But this n can be varied. It means by changing the number of the carriers, we can have more conductivity, and this is the reason that why we do the doping. So this is one type of doping in which we have done the pentavalent impurity. We added the pentavalent impurities, due to which a donor level is created. This blue one is the donor level over here. and this donor level will be close to the conduction band. Why? Because this is giving one electron or one carrier, and these types of extrinsic semiconductors are called as n-type semiconductors. Is it okay? Is it clear to you now? Yes. Ayush Kaplex, is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now next I want to discuss about this acceptor level. So it is quite obvious now. Earlier we have studied the donor level. Now we are going to here discuss an acceptor level. But this level will be, let's see again with an energy band diagram. So this energy band diagram is showing me this valence band, this conduction band, this valence band, this is conduction band, and this is my energy Eg. Now in the case of acceptor level, we will say it is a level which is close to the valence band. So it means I will have a level somewhere over here which will be close to this valence band, and this will be called as the acceptor level. Now similarly over here also, if I assume this energy equal to Eg1, so it is equal to 0.01 electron volt in the case of germanium and 0.05 electron volt in the case of silicon. Fine. Now how this acceptor level is forming, this is again important to know. We will discuss it now. And one more thing, when we add an impurity, okay, let's see, either acceptor level is found when we add a trivalent impurity. As you said, a trivalent impurity could be an aluminium. So with the help of adding of this trivalent impurity, we call that type of semiconductor. Definitely these are also extrinsic, but they will call it as a p-type extrinsic semiconductor. So let us discuss this part. That what is happening when I am adding trivalent impurity. So again I am going to discuss here three silicon atoms. Okay, something is not. And in the center I am going to have one aluminium or an impurity. Now we all know the number of valence electron in an aluminum is 3, so we will have only 3 electrons over here. So now let's see the bonding. The covalent bonds will be formed like this. यहाँ तक तो अभी तक क्लियर था कि इस तरह से बॉन्ड्स जो है वो फॉर्म होंगे, नो इश्यूज इन दैट. बट व्हाट अबाउट दिस इलेक्ट्रॉन? ये इलेक्ट्रॉन सिलिकॉन का यहाँ पर अब किसके साथ बॉन्ड बनाएगा? सो आई विल अज्यूम हियर दैट व्हेनेवर अ सिलिकॉन atom electron here wants to make a bond will be created with an aluminum, which is an impurity having only the 3 valence electron. This bond will be formed. But as there is no electron, so we always know that when there is a vacancy of an electron, it is nothing but denoted by a hole. So I have assumed कि यहाँ पर पहले electron था, इसने bond बनाया, but later this electron has been moved out and it has created a hole over here. Right. Now how this hole is going to affect the conductivity? This is important to know. For example, right now I am at 0 Kelvin. Means there will be no energy provided to this system or this structure, and definitely no electrons will move, no holes will move, and it will not conduct. There will be no change in the electrons or holes from valence to the conduction band. When I am saying hole, it is nothing but a vacancy of an electron, or it is exactly opposite to the hole. If we see here that electron is having a charge which is negative, whereas a hole is having a charge which is positive. Also, if electron is conducting in this direction, the hole will conduct in this direction. If I call it the current from the electron, I will call this the current from the hole, exactly opposite in the direction. It is again equal in magnitude, but the direction is opposite. So what is happening? Let's see, you will get a better idea from it. For example, I have applied some energy. If I am discussing here about 300 Kelvin, so what will happen? Some energy will be provided to it, and this structure is not like this कि सारे electrons हमेशा bonded रहते हैं. What is going to happen when this energy will be provided? This electron will be moved from this point to this point. It means when this electron has moved from this region to this region, a hole will be created over here, and let me draw this then. An electron will come here. Similarly, after some time, what is going to happen? This hole will be, okay, let me take this one, this hole, this electron. This electron will move from here to here, and a hole will be created over here, and this hole will be filled by this electron. It means if you see here that these electrons are moving from this point to this point, or this point to this point, or in the reverse case, I can say that this hole has shifted its position from this to this, then this to this, because now hole is present over here. So this hole is moving, or simply I can say when there is a movement of an electron, or in the reverse way there is a movement of a hole, that is nothing but equal to the conduction. So in the case of trivalent impurities also, due to the movement of this hole from one point to the other point at a very small energy, equal to, or you can say the less than Eg. Eg, what was that Eg? Eg is the energy gap between the valence and the conduction band, this one. So if we have this energy less than Eg also, then also we will see that this movement is occurring inside the structure, and this structure is now capable of the conduction due to the movement of the electrons, or simply the movement of the electrons in the reverse way. We can't say movement of holes, because holes is an imaginary term which we just use to explain our concepts, but actually what is there, I have told you, it is just the electrons which is moving. वो एक जगह से दूसरी जगह पे जा रहे हैं, दूसरी जगह से तीसरी जगह पे जा रहे हैं, just to complete their octets every time. ये भी अपना जो है वो octet complete करना चाहता है, ये silicon भी octet complete करना चाहता है. Everybody wants to complete their octet, so that's why they are moving from one to another, because of this impurities में तीन ही थे. So this is the reason this energy is very less than Eg, and in this case this energy is equal to Eg1. So now we have this energy Eg1, so from where it is coming? So that's why we need to define a level over here. These are all the you can say the concepts that are just introduced to answer these things. So we have introduced a level called as the acceptor level, and we said that this energy is close to the valence band. क्योंकि जब इलेक्ट्रॉन आपका 0 केल्विन पे बात कर रहे हैं, it is present this electron is present in the valence band over here, and when I'm saying that it has to move into the conduction band, but it does not have the energy equal to Eg, it has a very less energy equal to 0.01 electron volt or 0.05 electron volt in the case of germanium silicon, then it will simply move from here to here, यहाँ पे आ जाएगा. But due to the presence of this acceptor level, एक extra level create हो गया, वहाँ पे donor level create हो गया था N type में. P type में जहाँ पे trivalent impurity की, there we will have a acceptor level, and due to this acceptor level these electrons will stay in that position and will help in the conduction. So this is how we can say that these trivalent impurities and the pentavalent impurities are going to affect our conductivity, and how they are going to conduct even at the low temperature or simply the low energies, right? So I will stop here. Any doubts related to this concept of p-type and n-type semiconductors?